Hello, and welcome back to the Happy Hour. Folks, I'm your host, and if you're watching me, well, that means I'm happy. I know we've been gone for quite a long time. You're going to have to forgive me. I had an earache. And also, I may or may not have been recruited into the Dark Order. But folks, before we get started, we're going to need something to sip on because we got a lot to cover today. So before we get going, here's this week's drink special. Well, there's no getting around it. This drink is pink. Hot pink. But some of my favorite things are pink, so let's get right to it. This week's drink is the Cosmo. Lots of Cosmo. For this drink, you're going to need some vodka, some triple sec, some cranberry juice, and a couple of limes. No, fuck that, a shitload of limes. Citrus is good for you. Start with some ice in your pitcher and add 1 cup of the vodka, a half cup of the triple sec, a half cup of cranberry juice, chop up your limes, and add in a 1/4 cup lime juice. Now, you'll notice that I'm saying cups here, but keep in mind that's not a measurement, it's a ratio. You can use a small cup like mine, or a big cup like this, or a bigger cup like that. Give what you gotta stir, get your glass ready, get at least some of the ice in there, and pour and serve. If you'd like, you can grab a lemon for a garnish, or just, do that. Ladies and gentlemen, thumbs on the table, and that is a Cosmo. It's tasty, it's good, kind of tastes summery. Anyway, let's talk wrestling. Ooh, oh, that's nice, folks. The wrestling world never takes a break. Though the happy hour may take some time away, the wrestling world continues to buzz. So in honor of some of the great stories we missed, we wanted to take just a moment to look back and think about the times we wish we could have been there. Times such as when we discovered that Lars Sullivan was previously a gay porn actor. Actor, performer? What should you say? Or about the time we learned that Ricochet liked it in his butthole. Just a finger. Just a... Don't tell me you hadn't tried it. Or what about the time that Chris Jericho lost the AEW World Heavyweight Championship? No, he didn't lose it. He lost it. Left it in the back of a limo. And while we're talking about Chris Jericho, we cannot forget about a little bit of the bubbly, right? Little bit of the bubbly. Or the face that everyone makes every time they take a sip. Yeah, a little bit of the bubbly. Yeah. Yeah, we cover the classy stuff here. Which brings us to our next story. First story. Here we go. Which brings us to our first story. Vinnie Mac and Pat Patterson ruin Rocky Johnson's funeral. Yes, as most of you may know, WWE Hall of Famer and wrestling legend Rocky Johnson passed away just recently, and his memorial service was held this Tuesday. Many were in attendance, many wrestling greats, including superstar Billy Graham, who gave us this bizarre account of what seemingly went down. First of all, Vince McMahon, who was invited to go speak at the church platform, gets up there and he says the following.
Rocky Johnson did one good thing in his life. He married Atna and had a couple of kids.
And then he did his working strut off the fucking platform, if you can imagine that. After that shit show, Pat Patterson managed to be actually worse after having said a couple of nice words, started to call the guy a motherfucker at his own funeral. I'm not drunk. All right, hold up. Yeah, so basically the very day after that beautiful little montage video they did on Raw, Vinnie Mac and his fucking cronies start motherfucking the guy and popping off one-liners. And what the fuck is Pat Patterson even doing there? Were there kids at this funeral? I don't even think he's supposed to be there. Now, this is, of course, a story from the professional wrestling world, which is known, among other things, for its embellishments, its outright making up things out of whole cloths, its fictions, its legends, so do take it with a grain of salt, but if superstar Billy Graham said it, that's good enough for me. I'm not going to tell him he's wrong. Plus, this is the happy hour. We're not here to verify shit. We're here to tell you the dirt. Not the dirt sheets, the dirt. On to our next story, Tessa Blanchard. Yeah, unless you've been living up under a rock, you're well aware that Tessa Blanchard has been crowned the World Heavyweight Champion of Impact Wrestling, cementing herself as the first female World Heavyweight Champion of a federation. Didn't Mae Young? Never mind. Immediately, the wrestling world was set abuzz with a furious debate over the merits of having a World Heavyweight Championship title at the same time as having a vagina, but it seems more people were interested in tearing a good gal down. Well, I mean, really, how many people was it? I mean, it can't be that bad, right? Like one accusation of racism, right? Okay, like 2 accusations. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a lot of smoke for there to be no fire. I'm just saying. While we here at the Happy Hour do not want to pretend that racism is not a serious issue, we're far more interested in the other salacious rumors considering Tessa Blanchard, notably that of the poop. A little refill here. It's always good when you can lead a story with the poop. What about the poop? Yes, of course, though nothing has been actually confirmed, this is of course a wrestling rumor, we don't often get that, it seems possibly, maybe, just a chance, that Tessa Blanchard was paid by a fan to record a video of herself pooping sexily. Now, we here at the Happy Hour do not want to condone anything that may not be actually true, so we're not going to be playing the actual clips here. Stop! Stop! Even though there is no actual video leaking, an audio transcript, or I'm sorry, an audio recording of the alleged video. Stop! The audio recording's out there. It's pretty wild. It played on Cornette's fucking podcast. You should check it out. Stop! Another aside here. And just throwing it out there, while Tessa Blanchard's been very busy denying allegations of racism, I haven't heard her denying allegations of poopism. We're talking about poop today. And speaking of flinging shit, this brings us to our final story of the day, how AEW has won the Wednesday Night War. Now, before I get started, folks, I know this is why you clicked this video in the first place, to tell me why I'm wrong or why I'm right. But I want you to listen, to hear me out here. AEW wins this game by staying in the game. AEW is not going to take over WWE. They're not going to kill WWE. I'm sorry, AEW fans, it's not going to happen. WWE is the Walmart of wrestling. They're too big, they're too entrenched, they've been doing this too long. But AEW, the scrappy little newcomer, has done the wrestling world an incredible service by coming out there and showing that, yeah, you can survive. And that's all they have to do. Survive. Which brings us to how they've won and how they're going to survive. TNT has decided they like what they see and they've renewed AEW for a 4-year new deal. Folks, we'll be seeing AEW to 2024. Good or bad, ugly or beautiful, that's what's gonna happen. Yes, it actually seems TNT has liked what they've got so much, they're not only renewing AEW for another 4 years, they're actually adding an additional program. Some of you may be familiar with AEW Dark, taking place on YouTube. That's now going to be moving to TNT and embellished a little bit. It's going to be another 2-hour program that we don't have any particular details yet. We'll be eagerly awaiting, and we'll be telling you here first. Probably not first. We'll probably be like the 80th. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for my show this week. I know it seems a little bit short, but we missed you. We got a lot to get out in a little bit of time. We're going to be adding new things to the Happy Hour upcoming forward. I do hope you tune in to check it out. We're going to be having more interviews coming. If you remember our one with Zach Monstar, we got a couple down the pipeline that I really think you're going to love. If you like my shirt, it's brought to you by Truly Evil at Facebook.com. You can send them a message and get your own custom t-shirts made and pick one of the many beautiful fucking designs that they've got all ready to go. You can also check me out on Twitter. I live tweet wrestling events whenever I have the opportunity, and I love to get into the conversation with you. We're going to be coming back to you the same time next week, 6 o'clock, so do tune in. And please, folks, as always, drink responsibly.